I think within the department, obviously, we're very mindful that we're dealing with young people, and that it's very important that we start every day with a clean slate, and that everything is based on relationships. That if you're really going to be successful in terms of your teaching, you've got to have positive relationships with young people. So I think that's always something that we're very careful and mindful about within the department. I think we're also very clear that we are the adults and we're paid to do this job, and that it is our responsibility to find a way of working with people who are sometimes a wee bit disengaged. I think young people need to know that they get a fresh start every time. And I've never actually had to have a restorative meeting as yet, because on the couple of occasions that it's been suggested, I've managed to have a restorative chat informally with a young person, so that we can just make a fresh start the next day.
The reason why I am such a big fan of restorative practice is because as a teacher, I'm not an intimidating person. So I rely on building good relationships with students, being a very enthusiastic teacher, and in the classroom, I like to be the attention seeker. I like to be the one who is taking most of the attention. And restorative practice helps me in that, because I have never been a teacher that can raise my voice particularly effectively and instill discipline in that manner. I tend to get a little bit screechy, and I don't really know what I'm saying when I get angry. So if I come to a point in the classroom where I need to have a word with the student about their behaviour, I find that the best thing to do is to isolate them outside the classroom after following all of the other steps, and then have a restorative conversation with them. When I speak to them outside, I'm very conscious that I don't want to be in their face, that I would like to stand. I stand normally next to them, and I talk them through the questions. By this point, it's hopefully given them a moment or two to think about what they've done, and it's given me a chance to cool down as well. You can't help it, you get involved in a situation, and I think that part of the problem is if you feel really angry, you just focus on that student. And if you get a moment or two to kind of calm down, then you think, actually, this has had an impact on the rest of the class, and hopefully the student has thought about that too. So when I talk to them, I try and make it really clear that it's not just about us having a disagreement, that it's actually about how it's impacted on the rest of the class, and that's why restorative really helps me.
I find it does make a difference, a huge difference, because sometimes it could just be a breakdown in communication, or maybe something else going on, and it gives a chance for the pupil and the member of staff to kind of discuss what happened and come to a solution of how they're going to work together. As a teacher, if things aren't going right, if there's a problem, and I've tried various different techniques, and I feel like I need somebody else to be involved, then I normally ask for a meeting. And sometimes it can be the pupil feels like they want to discuss something that they've not been able to ask me in class. So it's good to arrange a time where you can sit down together.
I have had restorative meetings in the past with students, and I think that's really important. As I said before, keeping a good relationship with the students in your class is really important, and if an incident has occurred that means that the relationship is broken down, it's important to take time and have a meeting with them. It's really key within those meetings to remember that you are the adult, that you can't take things personally, that they're there to tell you the side of the story, and you don't want to jump in and say, well, you said this and you said that. So you have to give them the time to talk. Quite often, they have got the wrong end of the stick. They feel victimised, and they don't understand that the reason that you have got them in trouble, the reason that they have been excluded or anything, is because of the impact of their behaviour on other students. So having that restorative conversation, allowing them to have their say, is really important, and then it means that you too can explain to them why their behaviour is impacting on the rest of the class and why it is that they cannot continue in that way.
Yes, I have. As a teacher, I've had many restorative meetings, and also as a PT of art and design, I've also, as a facilitator, I've organised restorative meetings between staff and pupils.
Sort of give like the people a chance to speak, because I think sometimes pupils will be very much like trying to get their point across, and just sort of let them get theirs and then you can say what you need to.
Maybe not treat them as a pupil, treat them as just another individual. You know, sort of take away the you're in charge sort of motion, because that is in the classroom, but just speak to them like they've got their own problems and they're their own pupil.